Eddie Iranian, live in Cairo, Egypt. Our man in the Middle East, been with me for 10 years, and he's joining us now. Eddie, great to have you, man.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, Ed. Hey, let's get to this report that apparently U.S. Intel picked up that the Iranians have a plot to assassinate our ambassador to South Africa. What is up with this?
Well, you know, they've done things like this before, or tried to do things like this before, so I wouldn't put it beyond them. But at the same time, I would caution everyone that at this point in time, there are people, organizations, countries, people inside countries like our own country that would relish in seeing the president getting bogged down in a conflict with Iran just before an election. Various forces have already tried to get him involved in a conflict with Iran. So, I mean, you have to be just a little bit skeptical of why they're releasing this story right now. I saw the Politico article where they claimed that they need to release this information in order to warn the potential victim. I suspect that's not the reason they released it. And anyway, right. People in the intel community have been gunning for President Trump since the day he took office, if not before. So I would be just a little bit skeptical of the story.
All right, so you're not convinced it's real?
No, I'm not.
Okay. I'm going to just leave it at that, because if you're not convinced it's real, Ed, I mean, you follow this stuff every day you're there. That's certainly good enough for me. All right, let's get to the new peace deal that it appears that the Trump administration has brokered between one of the Gulf states, Bahrain, in the Middle East, and Israel. This is going to be the second one now, along with the UAE. Is that real?
Yes, quite definitely. I think both the UAE and Bahrain would like to see the president reelected, so they swallowed it and decided to do this. I'm not sure what Jared Kushner told them in the lead up to the agreements, but I'm sure that they wanted to do a favor to the president since they'd like to see him get reelected.
What impact does this have in the Middle East? Balance of power with Israel. What impact does the Bahrain situation have? Does it change anything?
Probably not a lot, although it could ultimately bring a few other Arab states along who are hesitating. I think Sudan has been mentioned as a potential possibility of cutting a deal. I think they'd like to have relations with Israel, but I don't think they're ready to go out on a limb and sign a deal, because the Muslim Brotherhood is gunning for the government right now, and that would just be ammo in the Muslim Brotherhood's whatever.
Right. So if you look at the situation in the Middle East now, the president's got two major victories. One was getting normalization of relations between the UAE and Israel, now with Bahrain. He's also got nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. Ed, I mean, he's not going to win that. We all know that there's no way that thing's rigged also, but he has been nominated. What is the reaction to this in the Middle East and the Trump administration's new progress here for some of the other states like Egypt that you're in? What is their reaction to this?
Well, there's been practically no public reaction. The president tweeted initially after hearing about the agreement that Egypt supported it and supported a just peace deal between Israel and Palestine. And he would need to say something like that because, of course, Egypt was the first country to normalize relations with Israel, the first Arab country. So, you know, they're just following Egypt's suit, albeit, 39 years later.
Well, we'll see what plays out. I mean, it should be interesting. You know, also the Trump campaign now trying to take credit for this and putting it into some of their campaign video ads, the progress in the Middle East. I would say under normal times, you know, that would probably be effective because, you know, people do look at the whole picture, the foreign policy. But I'm not sure it matters now. People in the United States are just caught up in COVID, the pandemic, getting checks in the mail, who passes what giveaway. Now we got violence in the streets, mobs. I'm just not sure that his actions in the Middle East, although they're quite laudable, are gonna matter in this campaign at all. I'm not sure that people are paying attention to that, but we'll find out, right?
Yeah, I mean, it can't hurt. As you say, it would have gotten a lot more play in another era. Of course, the media is not supporting the president, as you already know. So they're not playing up this deal, and I even hear some media outlets criticizing. So as you say, I doubt it's going to have a major impact on the election.
Ed, we'll find out. Hey, Eddie, Yeranian, thanks for the update. Stay safe in Cairo. John Fredericks Radio Network.